Imagine that you are at work giving a presentation in a meeting, right? And there's a new colleague from Scotland, and suddenly he just turns to you and asks you a question. But he's from Scotland, and you just didn't understand. Yeah, it can happen. I'm curious, and you can type in the chat. What do you do? I have three options. A, um, maybe just run away. You leave it to your colleague who's better at English. Just say, okay, I'm not going to deal with this. It's not on me. Many people go for B. They just freeze, right? You just don't know what to say. Your brain kind of gets stuck, you get blocked, and nothing really comes out. Or maybe you're kind of used to this situation already and you come up with some question. So I'm curious, what is it for you? How would you react? So what can we do when we get into a situation when we don't understand, when somebody turns to us with a question or with something and we just don't know how to react immediately? First reaction can be to just kind of slow down, stop, because our natural instincts sometimes are, okay, we have to answer, right? We are the professionals. We know how to speak English, or we should know how to speak English. So we have to answer right away, fast, so that we show that we are the experts. However, if we don't understand, or if we misunderstand, or we're not sure, this can lead to miscommunication, or it doesn't really help us, right? So it's actually worth it to stop a little bit and just breathe in, breathe out. Especially, and maybe that's not the case of you, or maybe it was a case of Andrea, who marked that you would say you would freeze, or maybe somebody else who would freeze. So simply breathe in, breathe out can help a lot, right? So our brain might be a little bit stuck, so we need oxygen, and we need the brain to kind of unstuck and start working. Another thing that I like to do is to, again, go away from that noise in your head, right? So we're in the head and repeating to ourselves, oh my God, what am I going to say? He's going to think I am stupid. I should say something. I should answer something. Why I'm not saying anything. But if we shift our focus, if we shift our attention a little bit from this mess in our head, our brain can start better, can work better. What can help, and this can be different for everybody, maybe you can focus on your feet, or just realize, oh, I have feet. Or maybe one thing that I found a little bit funny, that you can pinch your palm, right? A little bit, not like painfully, but just a little bit, right? So you're shifting from this mental mess in your head to your body, to now and here, something that centers you. Because then your brain can finally start working and use what you already know, right? Many of you came up with great questions in the chat, and I will give you a little bit more tools on that. But yeah, this can work only when we are not stuck, right? When we are not in this mess. So that's where we can use active listening tools like clarifying and paraphrasing, two tools that we will have a look today. We will have a look at them today, and we will also practice them. Why is it actually important to use these tools? I mentioned that when we give in to this instinct to react immediately, sometimes we're reacting to something which is not actually there. Yeah, maybe they're asking something, but we're answering a different question. So it's actually very important that we check, that we understand. And it's okay to check, right? It doesn't make us unprofessional. We're not supposed to know everything right away, but we're supposed to be professional in the way that, yes, it's important for us to understand the question. Sometimes it can be also useful because this way we get more information. Maybe the question was not very clear. Yeah, the speaker is not a perfect person either. Maybe they asked us a question which is not very clear, and in order to answer it properly, we actually need more information. So that's another why it's good to use these tools. Another side of this is kind of in the direction of building a relationship, right? We're actually showing that we are listening to this person. It's important for us. It's important that we understand what they mean. It's important that we answer the question they're asking. And this way we can build the relationships in our workplace as well, right? Does it make sense? Or does anyone have any question? Oh, okay, there's more people coming. Okay. It seems that no questions. That's good. Or I hope it's good. Right. So let's have a closer look at the first of this tool, and that's clarifying. For me, asking clarifying questions is about understanding better the other person, right? As I mentioned, it's to get more information, to check that we are actually answering what was asked. And how to do that? Very simply, it's about listening what the other person is saying and repeating and asking about it, right? So the key is first listening and then asking about it. And you can ask about at least one word that you've heard. Yeah, it's not that you have to repeat everything, but you can ask at least the little thing that you did understand. And the trick part is you don't even have to understand it. Maybe you can just repeat the sound, right? And that's very important because what our mind does when we hear someone speaking in English is that they say a weird word, a word that we don't understand, some new word, and we kind of attach ourselves to that, right? And we're like, oh, what is that? What is that? And we miss everything else. And we just get frustrated that, oh my God, I just don't understand this. And we miss everything else. And that's kind of not very helpful for the communication. But we can use this, this trick that our mind does, and we can repeat this weird sound, this weird word, and ask about it, even if you don't understand. And sometimes people are afraid to do this because they feel that they might sound bad, or it doesn't sound good if they just say a word they don't know. But from experience, I just want to encourage you to actually try that, even if you don't pronounce it perfectly, because it's really worth it. You're pointing out to exactly what you need to clarify, right? And how to do it exactly. Here are some examples, right? And so let's say there's a word that you, I don't know, didn't really understand. So for example, redundancy. So maybe you don't know what redundancy means, but your Scottish colleague used it, so you can ask redundancy. Yeah, just repeat the sound however you heard it, and you can ask, so what does it mean? Or my personal favorite, what do you mean by redundancy? I think that was also suggested in the chat. Or when you say redundancy, what exactly do you mean? Or what redundancy are you talking about? And there are many ways that you can ask, and you can ask a clarifying question. And I just want to invite you to not really remember all those phrases that you see now here, but maybe you can say them out loud if you feel comfortable, or you will have opportunity to try them in the practical part. But the key here is to try which one of these phrases is most most familiar for you, or maybe easiest for you to say, easiest to remember, so that it's there and you can use it whenever you need it.